Shalom, shalom, Israel. Akatazo, I'm coming at you with a quick video. Topic of today is going to be brotherly love, and we're going to use the example with Saul and David, right? And this is live, so we're just going to go through the spirit, right? I got a video prepared, and we're just going to go through the spirit to get this video done, right? And we're going to go to the book of 1 Samuel, and we're going to start at verse 18. Right, and we're gonna get good examples and bad examples of how to show brotherly love and what brotherly love is, and we also gonna get the examples of what brotherly love like that envy, jealousy, and hate to not have toward your brother. This is the book of 1 Samuel chapter 18 and verse 1. And it came to pass when he had made an end of speaking unto Saul that the soul of Jonathan, right? The Jonathan is the son of Saul, was knit with the soul of David, and Jonathan loved him as his own soul. So that right there, that off the top, that's one a perfect example of how to love your brethren. When you out there on the highways and in the hedges, you gotta love your brethren as your own soul, like Jonathan did David, right? Verse 3, then Jonathan and David made a covenant because he loved him as his own soul. So that's how you got to love your brethren as your own soul. You love like how the saying goes, love, treat other people how you want to be treated. So that's where the saying comes from, right? Treat others how you want to be treated. Jonathan loved David as his own soul, right? Then Jonathan and David made a covenant because he loved him as his own soul. And Jonathan stripped himself of the robe that was upon him and gave it to David, and his garments, even to his sword and to his bow and to his girdle. So he stripped his clothes and gave that man everything. His girdle, his robe, his sword, his bow. He gave that man everything off his back, because he made a covenant with him. How the Lord made a covenant with us, Israel, the 12 tribes. Jonathan made a covenant with David, man. And he loved him as his own soul, right? So that's brotherly love, right? Now, this is examples of how not to love your brethren, right? This is the book of 1 Samuel chapter 18 and verse 6. And it came to pass as they came when David was returned from the slaughter of the Philistine, that the woman came out of all the cities of Israel, singing and dancing to meet King Saul with tabrets, with joy, and with instruments of music. And the women answered one another as they played and said, Saul has slain his thousands and David his 10,000s. And Saul was very wroth. So he was very wroth, right? Wroth. This man was pissed the hell off, right? Punching stuff, flipping over tables, grabbing wine and throwing it against the wall, right? Pipe, punching on the wall and stuff. This man was very wroth, man. Who also was very wroth? Cain, when he didn't accept when the Lord didn't accept his offering of fruit, right? He was very wroth. So this was like Saul. He had that off spirit on him, right? He was very wroth, cursing and yelling, and he was going off, right? Verse 8. And Saul was very wroth, and the saying displeased him. And he said, they have ascribed unto David 10,000s, and to me they have ascribed but thousands. And what have he more but the kingdom? And Saul eyed David from that day forward, right? So he's like, man, I hate this dude. You know what I mean? He envied him, right? He had that jealousy and that hate spirit, man, right? So David was going off. And it came to pass on the morrow that the evil spirit from Yahweh came upon Saul, and he prophesied in the midst of the house, and David played with his hand as at other times, and there was a javelin in Saul's hand. So he had a big spear, and Saul had a big spear in his hand, right? And Saul cast a javelin, for he said, I will smite David even to the wall with it. And David avoided out of his presence twice. So he tried to kill him twice with that javelin he had in his hand. He said, I'm going to pin this man to the wall with this damn spear, right? I'm jealous. I hate this man, right? They say this man killed 10,000s and I only got thousands. Who the hell is this man? He's already blessed by the Lord. He's already blessed by the Lord. and now they're giving him praise, more praise on right here on this earth, man. Saying he's higher than me. He killed 10 thousands and me just my thousands, right? So he was going off, man, right? We're going to jump to verse 17. And Saul said to David, "Behold, my elder daughter, Merab, her will I give thee to wife. Only be thou valiant for me and fight the Lord's battles." For Saul said, "Let not mine hand be upon him, but let the hand of the Philistines be upon him." So he was trying to set him up. So yeah, I'll give you my daughter. I'll give you my daughter to wife, right? Because he was like, I want him dead. I want this man dead. He said, go fight the Philistines. Yeah, go fight the Philistines. Go fight the Lord's battles, thinking he was going to die in war because he didn't want to shed his blood. He didn't want to shed his brother's blood, right? Chapter 19, verse 1. This is the book of 1 Samuel, chapter 19 and verse 1. And Saul spake to Jonathan his son and to all his servants that they should kill David, right? So Saul was up here, up here scheming like, yo, this man got to go. You know how Jake, they passing L's around, maybe sipping a little liquor and be like, yo, man, this nigga here, this nigga gotta go, yo. I put him on and he flipping bricks for me. And he doing now this nigga got a rollie on and a chain and he coming in all fresh and all the ladies is feeling him. The ladies used to feel me, now they feeling him, man. This nigga gotta go. That's how Jake do it, man. So, the Lord requires of that which was passed, right? So this is the same spirit that brothers got on them, man. Just like the curse Deuteronomy 28:54, man. David once loved Saul once loved David. He said you gonna be it to me like a son. You know what I mean? So now Saul hates David. Now Saul hates David and he wants him dead. So now he's scheming and plotting behind David back to try and get him killed. He tried to get him killed by the Philistines. That didn't work. So now he's like, nah, I'm gonna have my boys kill him. Right? So this was happening. Jake in the world will be plotting and loading the strap and got the black mask on and the gloves, to try and do a drive-by on boy, right? Set him up like, yo, man, we got bricks, so yo, let's bring it to the trap house and we chop it up and we break bread, and try and set him up. That's what Jake do in the world. That's what Saul was trying to do to David. Verse 2. Right? But Jonathan, Saul's son, delighted much in David. And Jonathan told David, saying, Saul, my father, seeketh to kill thee. Now, therefore, I pray thee, take heed to thyself until the morning, and abide in a secret place, and hide thyself. And I will go out and stand beside my father in the field where thou art, and I will commune with my father of thee, and what I see that I will tell thee. And Jonathan spake good of David unto Saul his father, and said unto him, let not the king sin against his servant, against David, because he hath not sinned against thee, and because his works have been to thee word very good. For he did put his life in his hand, and slew the Philistine, and the Lord wrought a great salvation for Israel, that thou sawest it, and didst rejoice. Wherefore then wilt thou sin against innocent blood to slay David without a cause? And Saul hearkened unto the voice of Jonathan, and Saul swear, as the Lord liveth, he shall not be slain. Right? So Jonathan, Jonathan loved David as his own soul. So he's trying to tell his father, why are you going to try to kill David? Didn't he kill that Philistine? And the Lord bless not only him, not only you, but all of Israel, right? Didn't he bless him? He didn't do nothing to you. So why you got to kill him? He pulled his father aside, they was out talking and stuff like that. Like, what did he do to you? Why you wanna fight this man? That's what Jake do in the world. Like, all of a sudden they get jealous, like, yo, let me talk to you, yo, why you want to fight him, man? What he do to you? You know what, man, you right. He ain't really do nothing to me, but I don't know. I ain't liking this dude. So he's speaking into his father like, yo, he did absolutely nothing to you. So why you out trying to kill him? Right. So that's what happened. And he said, I swear by as the Lord liveth, I'm not gonna kill David. Right. So that's another example of brotherly love. So you got in this book, you got good examples of brotherly love and good examples of how to hate your brother with all your heart. And that's murder. He tried to kill him in the flesh, and he already murdered him through the spirit by hating his brother, right? And we're gonna get more precepts on how to love your brother and what hate on your brother, what hating your brother is, man. Right. But right now we're just gonna go through the book of First Samuel and get these examples and go through the precepts through the spirit. Right. And this is live. I didn't meditate on this. I just got the notes down, got my precepts ready, and today I just made this video, through the spirit. We breaking it down through the spirit of Yahweh Bashim Yahushua. Right. So this is the verse 8. And there was war again, and David went out and fought with the Philistines and slew them with a great slaughter, and they fled from him. And the evil spirit from the Lord was upon Saul, and he sat in his house with his javelin in his hand, and David played with his hand. And Saul wrought to smite David even to the wall with the javelin. Right. So if you're not familiar with the book of First Saul, right? When Saul, after David killed the Philistine, right? Saul, he had an evil spirit upon him, right? The Lord, because the Lord took that spirit away from Saul, right? So he had that spirit against he had the evil spirit, and he said, have David come and play that song, or this might have been before he slew the Philistine, right? But I think it's before he killed the Philistine, right? So Salaki on that, right? But before he killed the Philistine, he would play that song, right? He'll play the music instrument, and it'll calm Saul down. It will take that evil spirit off of Saul, man. So that's what was going down, and that's what he did. But now it's not working. He still got the evil spirit upon him, and he still want to slay his brother, right? So I'm still a little rusty on that, right? Salakia, I should have known. So shame on me, but we're gonna keep it going through the spirit of the Yahweh Bashim Yahushua. And the evil spirit from the Lord was upon Saul, and he sat in his house with his javelin in his hand, and David played with his hand. And Saul sought to smite David even to the wall with the javelin, but he slipped away out of Saul's presence, and he smote the javelin into the wall, and David fled and escaped that night. Saul also sent messengers unto David's house to watch him and to slay him in the morning. Right, so he tried again to kill him with the javelin. Right, and he said, go get that man, go watch him, go watch his house until the morning, and kill him in the morning, kill him when the sun rise. Right, that's what Jake do, man. This is Jake. Esau don't do this. Right, Jake do this. Right, verse 11. Saul also sent messengers unto David's house to watch him and to slay him in the morning. And Michal, David's daughter, told him, saying, if thou save not thy life tonight, tomorrow thou shalt be slain. So Michal led David down through a window, and he went and fled and escaped. Verse 17. And Saul said unto Michal, why hast thou deceived me so, and sent away mine enemy, that he has escaped? So now he's calling David his enemy, right? Saul came to his wife, David's wife, and said, why did you let my enemy escape? Right? But we know that he had done absolutely nothing to Saul. Absolutely nothing to Saul. Right? But he's calling David his enemy. Why hast thou deceived me so, and set away mine enemy, that he is escaped? And Michal answered Saul, he said unto me, let me go. Why should I kill thee? Right? So why is it that this man want to kill him, man? Right? Why does he want to die? Why does he want to kill David? Right? This is the book of 1 Samuel chapter 20 and verse 5. And David said unto Jonathan, behold, tomorrow is the new moon, and I shall not fail to sit with the king. I shall not fail to sit with the king at meat, but let me go, that I may hide myself in the field until the third day at even. If thy father at all miss me, then say, David earnestly asked leave of me, that he might run to Bethlehem, his city, for there is a yearly sacrifice there for all the family. So David was like, look, if your dad missed me and stuff like that, then I'll come. But if he's speaking evil and saying, nah, I'm still gonna kill him, then come and let me know. So David is talking to Jonathan, and David is speaking like, yo, if he still seeks to kill me, then tell him I went to my family house and stuff like that, right? because and let me know if he still wants to kill me, if he misses me, you know. Right, verse 16. So Jonathan made a covenant with the house of David, saying, let the Lord even require at my hand of David's enemies. And Jonathan caused David to swear again, because he loved him, for he loved him as he loved his own soul. Verse 28. So that's a good brotherly love, man. When if you live in an apartment complex, which a lot of Jake do, um right, and you in the hood, and these boys is about to jump you, but you that neutral friend, right? They'll go and they say, yo, we gonna kill this man, I'm gonna kick his ass, you know what I mean? And you chilling with your boys, and you're like, yo, chill at home, or stay at your cousin's house, and blah 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 complex, right? And then we gonna and I'm gonna see what's up, if they still trying to jump you, and now give it a take a couple days, right? And they still want to jump you. You gonna call your boy like, yo, man, they still want to get at you, bro. Just lay low for a while, But if not, they be like, nah, they kind of said, nah, it's stupid, let it go. They blew off steam, come back around, So that's what was going on, right? Verse 28. And Jonathan answered Saul, David earnestly asked leave of me to go to Bethlehem, right? Yeah.
Are you done?
No.
Almost?
Yeah.
The food's done.
All right, thanks. Verse 29. And he said, let me go, I pray thee, for our family hath a sacrifice in the city. My brother, he hath commanded me to be there and now, if I have found favor in thine eyes, let me go. Let me get away, I pray thee, and see my brethren. Therefore he cometh not unto the king's table. She's like, where is he? He ain't come the first day. Where he at? Matter of fact, let me backtrack so y'all can get the account of that, right? Verse 24. Let's start at verse 24. So David hid himself in the field, and when the new moon was come, the king sat him down to eat meat. And the king sat upon his seat as at other times, even upon a seat by the wall. And Jonathan arose, and Abner sat by Saul's side, and David's place was empty. Nevertheless, Saul spake not a thing that day, for he thought something had befallen him. He is not clean, surely he is not clean. And it came to pass on the morrow, which was the second day of the month, that Jonathan's place was empty. And Saul said unto Jonathan his son, wherefore cometh not the son of Jesse to meet, neither yesterday nor today? So he's like, where he at? He ain't come yesterday, he ain't come today. His seat empty. He's not clean or something. He's like, surely he not clean. And the second day, he's like, yo, where he at? Right? And then that's when Jonathan told him what David told him to say. He went to his family house for the sacrifice and stuff like that. He asked me if I could go. I gave him the blessing and said, yeah. Right? Verse 30. Then Saul's anger was kindled against Jonathan, and he said unto him, thou son of the perverse, rebellious woman, do not I know that thou hast chosen the son of Jesse to thine own confusion, and unto the confusion of thy mother's nakedness? For as long as the son of Jesse liveth upon the ground, thou shalt not be established, nor thy kingdom. Wherefore now send and fetch him unto me, for he shall surely die. Right? So he said, you pretty much chose to make a covenant with this dude, but I'm your father. You're supposed to do what I say, but you made a covenant with this man. They not gay. I heard somebody say, oh, he gave him his heart. He loved him as his own soul. He gave him his clothes. He stripped himself butt naked. And look, it says, do not I know that thou hast chosen the son of Jesse to thine own confusion? Oh, see, he was confused. He was doing Sodom. They were Sodomites. And that's off. That's off, and that's wicked. There's no account of them being Sodomites in this, and there is no account of them being Sodomites, man. You think the Lord dealing with David, and David's a Sodomite? You think the Lord not going to kill Jonathan and let it be known in this book that he's a Sodomite? He's not a Sodomite. So if you think if you thinking they're gay, you're going off. You're going off. They're not gay. He had brotherly love. Don't you love your own brother? You'll take your own clothes off, right, and give your brother, right? Wouldn't you give your brother your last damn dime? You know what I mean? So this was going on. If you think that they're gay, you're going off, right? Right? So let me read that again. Then Saul's anger was kindled against Jonathan, and he said unto him, Thou son of the perverse woman, rebellious woman, Salakia, do not I know that thou hast chosen the son of Jesse to thine own confusion, and unto the confusion of thy mother's nakedness? For as long as the son of Jesse liveth upon the ground, thou shalt not be established, nor thy kingdom. Wherefore now send and fetch him unto me, for he shall surely die. So he said, as long as this man lives, you ain't getting no kingdom. You're not gonna be king. You're not gonna reign after me. You're done. As long as he live, you're done. You're not reigning nothing. You're not inheriting nothing. So he's like, bring me to him so I can kill this man. So Saul was going off, man. Saul hated this man for absolutely no reason, man. Right? Let's turn the page. Right? This is the book of 1 Samuel chapter 22 and verse 15. Did I then begin to acquire of Yahweh for him? Be it far from me, let not the king impute anything unto his servant, nor to all the house of my father, for thy servant knew nothing of all this, less or more. So David, if I suggest you guys kind of read the chapters in between this and kind of understand what's going on. David fled, I think, to the king. I think his name is Anhamelech or something like that. Let me get it. Therefore departed thence. Right. I suggest you guys, kind of get the kind of read, So Ahimelech, he fled into a king named Ahimelech. He told him he kind of told him, I got king's business to do, Verse 15. Verse 15. Did I then begin to acquire of Yahweh for him? Be it far from me, let not the king impute anything unto his servant, nor to all the house of my father, for thy servant knew nothing of all this, less or more. So he said, I didn't know that business I was going through. I didn't know what y'all was going through, man. I didn't know you was looking to kill him and all this. I didn't know all that, right? And the king said, Thou shalt surely die, Ahimelech, thou and all thy father's house. And the king said unto the footmen that stood about him, Turn and slay the priests of the Lord, because their hand also is with David, and because they knew when he fled and did not show it to me, but the servant of the king would not put forth their hand to fall upon the priests of the Lord. So the Israelites was like, I'm not killing this man. I'm not killing the priest of the Lord. But Saul wanted to kill him because he didn't tell him about David. So David killed this man and his household, man. So I said Salaki, I meant Saul. So Saul killed this man and his household, right? But the Israelites was like, I'm not killing this man, this priest of the Lord. Are you crazy, right? But look who did, man. This is why you shouldn't be a damn coon. This is why you shouldn't have Edomite friends, man. Right? This is why. Right, verse 18. And the king said to Dog, turn down and fall upon the priest, and Dog the Edomite turned and he fell upon the priest and slew on that day 75 persons that did wear a linen ephod. So this man killed this damn devil, this Edomite. He had no problem with killing the Israelites, the high priest of the high priest, man, right? Priest of the Lord. This damn devil, this Edomite, had no problem at all killing this man, right? Killing these men. And verse 19, and Nah, the city of the priests, smote he with the edge of the sword, both men and women and children and suckling and oxen and asses and sheep with the edge of the sword. So they went going crazy, murdering kids and women and all this innocent blood, man. All this innocent blood Saul has on his hands, man. Right? And Dog, however you want to pronounce it, was there when David went to Ahimelech and he asked him, said, I have nothing under my hand. I have no bread. I have king's business. Please, I have no sword with me. They sat, they ate, and he said, here, take this sword that was the Philistines that you had slain. Take it and go. He didn't say, oh, what's going on? Let me get the drop. He didn't say that. He said, you know what? Take the sword. Let's eat. And go your way. And Dog was there. This damn evil Edomite was there. And that's how he told Saul. And that's why this man got killed. right? Because you never trust thine enemy, man, right? He had his enemy, that's damn Edomite, close to him, and he had him kill the man of the Lord, right? So that's another example of hating your brother, man, right? Let's get another account, right? This is the book of First Samuel, chapter 26, and verse 19 and verse 16. First Samuel chapter 26 and verse 16. The king is not good that thou hast done, as the Lord liveth. Ye are worthy to die, because ye have not kept your master, the Lord's anointed. And now see where the king's spear is, the and the curse of water that was in his bolster. I think it was another account in here that I wanted to get. I think 24, chapter 24. So it's like, let's backtrack, right? This is the book of First Samuel chapter 24 and verse 1. And it came to pass, when Saul was returned from following the Philistines, that it was told him, saying, Behold, David is in the wilderness of En Gedi. Then Saul took 3,000 chosen men out of all Israel, and went to seek David and his men upon the rocks of wild goats. And he came to the sheepcote, or the sheepcots, by the way, where was a cave. And Saul went in his cover his feet, and David and his men remained in the sides of the cave. And the men of David said unto him, Behold, the day of the Lord, which Slakia. And the men of David said unto him, Behold, the day of which the Lord said unto thee, Behold, I will deliver thine enemy into thine hand, that thou mayest do to him as it shall seem good unto thee. Then David arose and cut off the skirt of Saul's robe privately. Right? So, he caught him lacking in the cave. David caught Saul lacking in the cave, right? And he cut off his garment, right? And it came to pass afterward that David's heart smote him, because he had cut off Saul's skirt. So he still loved Saul. So it hurt his heart. It broke his heart that he cut off the skirt of Saul, man. Right? It broke his heart, man. Even though this man wants to kill him for no reason, it still broke his heart. Now that's brotherly love, right? And he said unto his men, The Lord forbid that I should do this thing unto my master and the Lord's anointed, to stretch forth mine hand against him, seeing he is the anointed of the Lord. So David stayed his servants with these words, and suffered them not to rise against Saul. But Saul rose up out of the cave and went on his way. David also rose forward and went out of the cave and cried after Saul, saying, My Lord, the king. And when Saul looked behind him, David stooped with his face to the earth and bowed himself. And David said to Saul, Wherefore hearest thou men's words, saying, Behold, David seeketh thy hurt? So he said, where had you heard that I seek to hurt you? Right? Even though you try to kill me mad times, where have you heard that I said I want to kill you? Right? Verse 10, Behold, this day thine eyes have seen how the Lord hath delivered thee today into mine hand in a cave, and some bade me kill thee. Right? Some people told me to kill you. But mine eye spared thee, and I said, I will not put forth mine hand against my Lord, for he is the Lord's anointed. Moreover, my father, see the skirt of thy robe in my hand, for in that I cut off the skirt of thy robe and killed thee not. Know thou and see that there is neither evil nor transgression in my hand, and I have not sinned against thee. Yet thou huntest my soul to take it. The Lord judge between me and thee, and the Lord avenge me of thee, but mine hand shall not be upon thee. As saith the proverb of the ancient, wickedness proceeded from the wicked, but mine hand shall not be upon thee. After whom is the king of Israel come out? And whom dost thou pursue? After a dead dog, after a flea? So he's saying you're pursuing me after I have not sinned against you, but you're wasting all this time pursuing after me. Who the hell am I? I'm like a dead dog. I'm like a flea. You're chasing after me, right? And the Lord therefore be judge and judge between me and thee, and see and plead my case and deliver me out of thine hand. And it came to pass when David had made the end of speaking these words unto Saul, that Saul said, "It is thy voice of is this thy voice of my son David?" And Saul lifted up his voice and wept, and he said to David, "Thou art more righteous than I, for thou hast rewarded me good, whereas I have rewarded thee evil. And thou hast shewed me this day how that thou hast dealt uh, well with me, for as much as when the Lord had delivered me into thy hand, thou killedst me not. For if a man find his enemy, will he let him go well away? Wherefore the Lord reward thee good for that thou hast done unto me this day. And now behold, I know well, uh, I know well that thou shalt surely be king, and that the kingdom of Israel shall be established in thine hand. Swear now, therefore, unto me by the Lord that thou wilt not cut off my seed after me, and that thou wilt not destroy my name out of my father's house. And David swore unto Saul, and Saul went home, but David and his men gathered them up unto the whole. Right. So that whole chapter, I read that whole chapter because that whole chapter was a good point of brotherly love. Right. Saul sought to kill David. David caught him lacking in a cave, cut off his garments, said, "See, I could have killed you. The Lord delivered you on my hand, but I didn't kill you. It broke my heart." He bowed his face and he cried against him. He said, "Why do you seek me? I'm just like a dead dog, a flea. I have not sinned against you. The Lord delivered you on my hand, but I killed you not." Right? And Saul cried and said, "I'm not going to kill you. I'm not going to kill you no more because the Lord delivered me in your hand. You spared me good. You gave me good for the evil I gave you." So Israel will be in your hands. The kingdom is going to be set in your hands. You're a righteous man, right? But then Samuel died. Then Saul died. Samuel, Salakia, right? So let's get First Samuel chapter 26 and verse 16, because Saul went at it again. Saul went to kill this man again. First Samuel chapter 26 and verse 16. This thing is not good that thou hast done, as the Lord liveth. Ye are worthy to die, because ye have not kept your master, the Lord's anointed. And now see where the king's spear is, and the curse of the water that was in at his bolster. So he saw him again. Saul went to go seek David again, but they got caught lacking in the camp, right? So David and one of his footmen, right, went and took the spear, or took the sword from took the spear that was by Saul's side, and went on top of the hill, and poured out their water, because the Lord put a deep sleep upon them, right? Took his spear and was like, now he's saying, I could have killed you again. You seek me again. You seek my life again to kill me, and I could have killed you again, right? Verse 17, and Saul knew David's voice and said, "Is this thy voice, my son David?" And David said, "It is my voice, my Lord, O king." And he said, "Wherefore doeth my Lord thus pursue after his servant? For what have I done? Or what evil is in my hand? Now therefore I pray thee, let my Lord the king hear the words of his servant. If the Lord have stirred thee up against me, let him accept an offering. But if they be the children of men, cursed be they before the Lord, for they have driven me out this day from abiding in the inheritance of the Lord, saying, Go serve other gods. Now therefore let not my blood fall up to the ground." So he's pushing them out, telling me, "Go serve other gods. You're not going to serve the God of Israel." He's pushing away from his kingdom that he rightfully deserves, right? Now therefore let not my blood fall to the earth before the face of the Lord. So he's saying, "Kill me not. For the king of Israel is come out to seek a flea. And when one doeth hunt a partridge in the mountains," verse 21, right? Then said Saul, "I have sinned, return my son David, for I will no more do thee harm, because my soul was precious in thine eyes. This day, behold, I have played the fool and have erred exceedingly. And David answered and said, behold the king's spear, and let one of the young men come over and fetch it. The Lord render to every man his righteousness and his faithfulness, for the Lord deliver thee into my hand this today, but I will not stretch forth my hand against the Lord's anointed. And behold, as thy life was much set by this day in mine eyes, so let my life be much set by in the eyes of the Lord, and let him deliver me out of all tribulation. Then Saul said to David, blessed be thou, my son David, that thou shalt do great things, and also shall still prevail. So David went on his way, and Saul returned to his place. So again, he had another account of him ready to kill him, right? Ready to kill him. He said, "Thou had the Lord delivered you in my hand again." You know, but you still chase after me, but I'm just a flea, right? So he said, I'm sorry. You know, he returned to his place. And if you could keep reading, Saul wind up dying in war, him and his sons, because that was the Lord's judgment upon him, right? For seeking David. Right. So that was the Lord's judgment. That was the Lord's judgment upon Saul. Right. This the book of Matthew chapter 22 and verse 36, and it reads, Master, which is the great commandment in the law? Yahushua said unto him, thou shalt love thy Lord thy God with all thine heart, and with all thy soul, and with all thy mind. This is the first and great commandment. And the second is like unto it. Thou shalt love thy neighbor as thyself. On these two commandments hang all the law and the prophets. So he's saying these two commandments go hand in hand. Love the Lord with all thy heart and with all thy soul, and love thy brother, thy neighbor as thyself, right? Love your brother, love the 12 tribes, the blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, as you love as Jonathan loved David, right? He said he loved him as his own soul. So that's what the Lord is telling you to do, right? Let's go to the book of First John. Book of First John, chapter 3, and verse 15. And it reads, whoso hateth his brother is a murderer. And ye know that no murderer hath eternal life abiding in him. So that's what Saul was doing. He hated his brother. He hated his servant in his heart, man. He was a murderer. You know, he sought to kill him with the spear about 3 times. And then he went to kill him. He tried to kill him about twice, hunting him down, sending men after him. He killed Ahimelech and his family. All that to hunt down David, who did absolutely nothing to him. That jealousy, that envy, that hate spirit, all because all because they were singing a song and said Saul has killed his thousands and David his 10,000, and he sought to kill that man because of that lady was singing that song, and he got jealous in that envy spirit, right? You know, that pride. He had that pride, and the Lord said pride goes before destruction, right? The book of First John chapter 4 and verse 20. If a man say I love God and hateth his brother, he is a liar. For he that loveth not his brother whom he has seen, how can he love Yahweh whom he hath not seen? So he's saying, if you hate your brother who you see every day, who you see in the flesh, if you hate him, how can you love me? You're a liar. You never even see me. I never spoke to you. You know, I never even showed you. I never even let you see my face, hear my voice, nothing, you know. But yet you hate your brother, but you claim you love me. You're a liar, right? And you're a murderer for hating your brother. And, you know, he said murderers have not eternal life, right? Let's get the book of Leviticus. Let's get the book of Leviticus, man. Chapter 19. 19 and verse 18. Thou shalt not avenge nor bear any grudge against the children of thy people, but thou shalt love thy neighbor as thyself. I am the Lord. Right? So, you know, he didn't do nothing against him, so he wasn't avenging him. Right? But you're not supposed to avenge yourself. Oh, that brother stole my shoes. I'm going to beat his ass. You're not supposed to do that. You're not supposed to bear a grudge. Right? nor bear any grudge against the children of Israel, the children of thy people, but thou shalt love thy neighbor as thyself. Love your neighbor as Jonathan loved David, right? He said he loved him as his own soul. He loved him as himself, right? Let's get the book of Luke, last precept, right? The book of Luke, chapter 16, and start at verse 19, right? On down. This the book of St. Luke, chapter 16 and verse 19. There was a certain rich man, which was clothed in purple and fine linen, and fared sumptuously every day. So this man, an example will be Saul, right? And there was a certain beggar named Lazarus, which was laid at his gate full of sores, right? This will be David, right? Full of sores, he always trying to kill him and hunt him. He has nothing, right? Verse 21, and designed to be fed with the crumbs which fell from the rich man's table. Moreover, the dogs came and licked his sores, right? So desiring to be fed by this man, right? And this is an Israelite, a poor Israelite and a rich Israelite, right? And the Lord said, love thy brother as thyself, right? Verse 22, and it came to pass that the beggar died and was carried by the angels unto Abraham's bosom. The rich man also died and was buried, right? Not carried by angel, but was buried. And in hell he lifted up his eyes, being in torments, and seeing Abraham afar off, and Lazarus in his bosom. And he cried and said, Father Abraham, have mercy on me, and send Lazarus, that he may dip the tip of his finger in water, and cool my tongue, for I am tormented in this flame. But Abraham said, Son, remember that thou in thy lifetime received thy good things, and likewise Lazarus evil things. But now he is comforted, and thou art tormented. And beside all this, between us and you, there is a great gulf fixed, so that they which would pass from thence to you cannot, neither can they pass to us that would come from thence. So you can't come from this flame unto Abraham's bosom, or Abraham's bosom into the flame. It's a great gulf fixed, right? Like another firmament, right? Verse 27, then he said, I pray thee, therefore, Father, that thou wouldest send him to my father's house, for I have 5 brethren, and he may testify unto them, lest they also come into this place of torment. Abraham said unto him, they have Moses and the prophets, let them hear them. And he said, nay, Father Abraham, but if one went from them from the dead, they will repent. And he said unto him, if they hear not Moses and the prophets, neither will they be persuaded, though one rose from the dead. So that's it, man. If we telling our people, stop killing our people, stop selling drugs, stop hating your brother, stop gang banging, serve the Lord, stop bearing grudges against your people. If they're not going to hear us, they're not going to hear somebody. If the Lord came down, sent the angel or whatever, they're not going to hear it. He said they have Moses and the prophets. And like the people today, they have WFI, right? They have Sakari. They have, Sons of Jacob. They have House of Israel. They have all these camps telling people and breaking down the scriptures. And if they don't hear them, they're not going to hear nobody else. So they will be in this place of torment, right? So with that, I'm going to give a shalom Israel, right? Kwam Yasharala. I'm going to give a call law to Yahweh Bashim Yahushai. And I'm not sure if I did that in the beginning of the video, so shame on me, right? So I'm going to give a double call law to Yahweh Bashim Yahushai, right? Barakatah. Keep doing the work. Stay strong in this truth. We almost out of here. Shalom.